I think we're on air right now.
Okay, cool.
Dobro večer svima i dobrodošli u još jedan podcast Realna priča ove godine u malo drugačijem izdanju. Više onako casual, rekao bih. Nećemo više voditi one emisije gdje sjedimo za onaj sto kao da s nekim pregovaram i kao da ga držim kao taoca, nebitno. Uglavnom, večerašnja emisija, prva emisija nove sezone je sa djevojkom koja zapravo nije odavde, tako da će se ovaj podcast odvijati na engleskom jeziku. Naravno, ovdje ćete neđe dolje imati prevod. Hello, Selin. How are you doing?
I'm good, and yourself? How are you?
I'm doing great. Honestly, like all this work, like I think I did a pretty good job. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's looking really good in here.
Yeah, I tried my best, I guess. So, Selin, do you want to say something about yourself? Like, just give the guys some intro.
So I'm from South Africa. Originally, I was born there, but my parents are Turkish. I'm like 24, moved here on my own a couple months ago. And yeah, enjoying it so far.
All right. So, you say you moved here in March, right?
Yeah, I did come in March.
So March, like this year?
March this year, but I did have to go away for a couple months, so I'm officially here since July, the start of July, yeah.
All right. So you're living quite for a while here? Not too long, but long enough just to know the culture, right? To see how things are going, right?
Yeah, a couple months I think was not enough. Like I could still learn a lot more, but I've seen quite a lot of things so far, so.
So what do you actually think about Montenegrins? Like, because I feel like we don't have to start with a country, right? We can start with a people, so.
I think you have to ask a bit more of a specific question than that.
All right. I mean, all right. Fair enough. But what do you think about, let's say, the mentality? Like, how would you describe a Montenegrin to somebody from South Africa, let's say?
Guys are very laid back, very chilled. But I would say from a few of the conversations, a bit closed-minded if I compare it to South Africa.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've been called liberal here a few times by people, and I don't really, in South Africa, I wouldn't see myself as liberal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, after speaking to a few people like who were born and raised here, yeah, that's how.
Yeah. All right. So just I think the gain is a little bit, say something now?
Is this better?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So, so you said like we're laid back, but like close-minded, and you're called a liberal.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So is that kind of a insult for you, or how do you see that? Like being called a liberal?
I don't see it as an insult, but I wouldn't say I'm liberal. Like if I don't know, a lot of people in South Africa have a lot more different ideas about the world and how things should work. And I mean, I see maybe they think I'm closed-minded there.
So what, for example, give me like an exact example. What do you mean by that?
Okay, like the LGBTQ community.
Like it's not like as accepted as there?
Yeah, I mean, in Sea Point, we have the like pride flag painted in quite a few areas. We have pride events, pride get-together. There's a whole lot of like a gay club specifically for people to feel safer, but to still feel like included. And
let's say it like this, like here, like it's not as accepted in public, that's for sure. But like nobody really has like that many issues with it. I mean, I know a lot of people from Montenegro that are gay, openly gay, and like.
Well, my thing is like I heard a story about it.
Yeah.
Like someone said to me, they were sitting at Babalu, like a gay couple was walking. I think they were foreigners. I'm not sure exactly where they came from,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, like they said a car pulled up, some guy got out, beat one of the guys, got back in his car and just like left him there. That would never happen in South Africa. Like,
Yeah, but you know what? I think like it all depends on a policy, right? Because if you're like, because we do have like legalized gay marriages, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah, since recently, actually, like a year or two ago. I don't
Oh,
know exactly
nice.
yet.
Okay.
So you're like, but there's also a couple that married in a church, right?
Okay.
Which is kind of not really right in my opinion, but whatever. Yeah, they got married, and most of the gay people here actually, I think, have a pretty like normal life,
Yeah?
every day-to-day life. Like, it's pretty normal, yeah.
I don't know. I think I still have to experience a bit more.
Yeah.
I do have one friend who's a bit more flamboyant, and people do give him funny looks. So I don't know.
I mean,
Don't know how to comment on
it's
that.
always like when you see somebody like, I mean, I don't know how to put this. I don't want to be offensive, but there's always somebody that's like exaggerating the behavior, right? And there's somebody that's pretty moderate in it. He's just like, I'm gay, like whatever, but that's not important. Like, I'm also this and this and this and this. I'm professional. I'm this. It doesn't emphasize.
But also at the end of the day, it comes to like if they want to express themselves that way, then
I mean,
it's the same for like straight people. If I want to express myself differently and wear some like wild clothes for the day, like I shouldn't be,
I mean, there's always gonna be looks, right? I mean, wherever you are, it's
Okay.
just that in bigger cities, people don't know you as well and see more other people like you, so they're pretty much used to it.
Probably why the mindset is different as
Yeah,
well.
because we're like a really small community.
Yeah,
if
I
you think
mean-
about it, like it's 600,000 people. That's it.
My city, Cape Town alone, has 5 million just in
Exactly,
the
yeah.
city.
Yeah.
And it's a big city.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. It's like a totally different mentality and like way of functioning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So is life like, I mean, I heard stories, I've never been there, but a lot of people from South Africa like told me like testimonies that there's like very, very dangerous stuff going on.
Yeah, because it's such a big city, I mean, there are certain areas that we actually don't go into, especially being like a woman, you won't go into that area alone.
Okay.
Like just maybe like 4 kilometers from our house going towards like the highway, there's this area called Dunoon, and when we were younger, we used to drive through it with my dad.
Yeah.
And as we got older, he said to us, he's like, you know what, we're not taking this route anymore. And he still goes through it for work reasons because it's easier, it's shorter, but it's really like they will try run in front of your car to stop you and steal whatever you have in your car.
Damn, but does that happen like in broad daylight, or is it
I mean,
a night thing?
Everything happens all the time, but nighttime is definitely a more
Scariest part, huh?
dangerous time to be out and about. And we have another road called the N2, which is a national road. It takes you from Cape Town to Johannesburg, if not further. And I mean, we recently had protests for 2 weeks where they were burning tires.
Wow.
Like hijacking cars, throwing things at cars. Like,
what were the protests for?
I actually am not sure. It was probably something taxi related, because a lot of the time their taxis get taken away from them because they drive like idiots and
it
they
gets
endanger
violent
people
there.
And yeah. So there is like, I mean, like nothing ever happened to me, but we knew where to go and where to avoid, and we knew other routes around if we want to go somewhere that only that road goes.
Yeah.
So it's very dependent as well. We lived in a nice area. I mean, I feel for the people who live in those areas who don't have a choice but to live there at the same time. So
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel it, man. Like, but would you say like that South Africans are in average more violent than Montenegrins?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Actually,
Why is that?
maybe there's less crime and less like day to day, but some of the stories I've heard from people about things that have happened, and I'm not sure what the word
I
is
mean,
for it.
I mean, honestly, like here when shit hits the fan, it like hits it hard. But like, I don't know, like we have mafia, like mostly mafia, I'd say. Like it's not so violent and open and gangster like it is down there. But I think like we also have like bad shit going on, like basically all the time.
What, like more organized crime?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like more institutionalized basically.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Like the country and the mafia, like they collaborate, man. They do crazy shit here, you know.
I could understand that. Like,
Yeah. They're more in a deal, like with each other. So one do the job, the other ones don't prosecute them, and
less
they,
people to
I guess
really...
they're getting huge sums of money.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah, I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody on this.
No.
Like, I don't want to have problems, you know. But whatever. Like, that's really like basically a public secret. Like everybody knows it, but nobody talks
But
about it.
nobody talks about it. Yeah.
So
I feel like that's a lot of I think the same in South Africa as well.
Yeah.
But we just have more of it happening. And
how's like the standard of living there? Like, how do you live?
I mean, again, it's dependent on how your family's been doing work-wise, and it depends on the
Does
area
it depend
you're
on
living.
the race?
I don't think so anymore, but we still have a lot of racial problems. So
Do you have like segregation and all of that?
That's a bit hard to answer. I would say no, but like you wouldn't see many white people living in a location which is an unsafe, like small area or big. We have a large area, like large areas like that as well, where people just live in like shacks. And
Yeah.
so I wouldn't say there isn't, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's also a lot going on that I don't know about. A lot of areas I haven't seen myself.
So like you want to say like basically where white people are, it's usually like more peaceful kind of an area, right?
Not really as well. I mean, the population, I'd say, is pretty like evened out now. And I know a lot of people whose families are doing really well. They're not white.
Okay, so it's like right now, like due to the mixing, like it's
all like, but just some people in some areas have it worse off. Their standard of living is worse off. Maybe they don't have jobs. They're not able to get to work because they don't have transportation. So their opportunities are cut. They don't have education. Maybe they were affected by apartheid. Maybe they weren't. But, you know, like there are other people who went through apartheid who are doing really well.
Are you
right
like
now.
allowed to speak publicly on that there?
It can get quite intense.
Really?
Yeah. I went to university where it was really mixed, but we had this diversity training because the university.
Oh my God. Like I remember when you said like diversity training, it brought me back to the cruise ship, like the American style of living. Like whatever might be an issue, there's always a training for it. Like they prevent it immediately. And it's like nobody even gives a fuck about it, really. So it's kind of unnecessary, but yeah, like damn, it's quite a. Nobody does that here, man. We did that for drugs and like. You know,
I mean, we do that too. You know, we do that too. But like, we have racial problems, so they gotta like teach the people and put it out there. And
I mean, we had like ethnic tensions. Like, it was never that open.
Okay,
but it was like kind of like undercover hate. You know, like low key hating somebody because he's a Serb or a Montenegrin. So,
okay,
yeah, we got that shit going on.
What? So then it's like more nationalistic here than it is racist.
Probably, yeah. Okay. But the problem is that every single one of those people are actually from here. They understand each other. They're like living in the same fucking country, sharing the same fucking destiny.
Yeah.
And they're like still like, what the fuck, man? Like, I would understand like if we had racial problems to a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
But like ethnic problems. Like, man,
Okay.
come on. Like,
Okay.
that's so 1920, man. Like, fuck. But whatever, yeah. So what do you think about salaries? Like when you compare them, like the financial standard of living?
I think from what I've experienced so far, like the standard of living here is a bit higher. The pay is a bit more for like basic jobs, or what we would in South Africa maybe say is like a lower quality or a lower class job. I think it's already a lot higher, but also like the prices of things are, it kind of matches it. So
Mhm. So you would just say that our like how do you call that, like payment power? Like it's a bit higher
bit
than
higher,
yours,
yes.
but like the standard is pretty much the same,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Like South Africa, I think we have a minimum hourly wage of 25 rand, 24 rand, which is like €1 and like some cents, maybe 5, 10
We
cents
don't
or
measure
something.
that by the hour, we measure it by day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, we have it by hours. So you could work like a full 8-hour shift and come home with a couple euros. Like
Damn,
it
man.
doesn't really affect. It's pretty pathetic, to be honest. So you have to work a lot of hours, and some people
For
just
nothing.
for nothing.
Can-
Yeah.
So how many hours basically do you have to work to live like a decent life? So it's, for example, like 15 hours a day, man,
Yeah.
to live a normal life.
To live okay.
Damn, that's
to live
fucked
okay.
up, man.
And it would be better if you have like a 2-income household, maybe 3 incomes, so you live with people or you live with your family, or
I'm not gonna say it like my salary, but I can say that like average salary here by an hour would be, for example, something like, so there's like, it's a 30 something euros a day. So that's like
six.
it's not 30. No, my mistake. It's not 30. It's like 26, 27.
I mean, that's still good.
I mean, better than yours for
It's
sure.
like
but
between 500 and 600 rand. That's quite a lot to make in one day, unless you're working in a good industry. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's just like the number that makes you feel miserable about it, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like just one fucking euro for an hour of like working
An hour of working,
like
yeah.
a horse. Yeah, it kind of sucks, man.
Doesn't sound great.
Before, like, I remember when I was working like ordinary jobs, like I wasn't professional in anything, right?
Yeah.
I did probably like, let's say, maybe two something euros before per hour. So it's kind of really
40 rand.
Yeah, it's as you said, it's pathetic. It's really pathetic.
Not the greatest.
Yeah, but like if you like want to go out, let's say for a beer, let's say chill out with your friends, like how much money would you need to take with you? So
What, for like food and a beer, or just like drinks? Or
I guess probably just going out drinking, maybe having something to eat after.
I think the beers or anything, like it depends on where you go, between like 30 to 80 rands, which is
So how much is
like 1.5 to 4 euros.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Well,
but
yeah.
it depends on where you go. There's a lot of specials as well. Like you can go to most places and get 2 beers for like 2 euros.
Well, here they average, let's say, from 2 euros to like, let's say, 6,
Yeah,
maybe 7 somewhere.
Going out here, I see, is a lot more expensive. Like
It
South
is.
Africa, it's pretty cheap, or you can just buy stuff for even cheaper and go home. But it's not really like such a competitive price, especially if you go the right place on the right nights. And
I mean, yeah, that's what a lot of people get like confused about when it comes to Budva, because they come here and they immediately go to the most touristy places ever.
and
Like,
it's a lot more expensive.
I mean, you go to Old Town, man, and you complain about it being expensive. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah,
bro?
it's for the tour. No, it's I picked up
everywhere
on
is like that. I mean, I've been in the Caribbean, I've been in Florida, I've been in Mexico. It's the same, man.
Yeah.
It's the fucking same. Just the standard is lower there, man. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh my God, I drank a coffee for like €5 in Old Town. Like, no shit, Captain Obvious. Like, what do you expect, dude? No, people are funny sometimes.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I picked up on that really quickly, that they like the tourists pay a lot more here than anything. So
I mean, yeah, because honestly, like I kind of get them. You want to enjoy the place, but
course.
you don't enjoy it like every day, bro. You can enjoy somewhere else as well.
Well, I mean, like, they're only here for a week, and Old Town, there's a lot to see. So,
I mean, there's not too much to see, honestly. Like, it's pretty small when you compare it to like Dubrovnik or even Kotor.
Kotor is a lot bigger. Yeah.
So, what do you think about the nature, actually? Like, because everybody comes here for the nature, right?
Honestly, like, the thing that made me fall in love with this country is the nature. I don't think I've ever seen... I mean, South Africa is beautiful, don't get me wrong. I mean, we have so many areas, so many places you can go, especially if you go more like northeast. Beautiful, but I mean, it's far. It's not really easy to get to. And here it's like a couple hours drive.
Yeah.
And you're just in this beautiful mountain range. I mean, the most amazing thing for me was like standing on a mountain, looking up at another mountain. Like, I'm already high up on a mountain, like looking down in a canyon.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking up at the same time, and there's a higher mountain. And like, I've never experienced anything like that. And it's just landscapes on landscapes of just beautiful.
Have you been to Prokletije?
I don't think so, no.
It's a mountain range like between Montenegro and Albania on the north, like northeast, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should check that out, man. That place is like magical. Seriously, like it's crazy. Okay. Like it's the highest peak in Montenegro. It's in Prokletije. Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out one day. I might have. I've been brought a few places, but I can't exactly remember where they were. I was just taking in the moment. I wasn't checking the map.
I'm telling you, it looks like from a fairy tale or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, already most of this country looks like a fairy tale to me. So.
I mean, that's a really nice compliment to get as somebody who's from here. So thanks.
It's beautiful. I mean, I went up with one of my friends to Capitanovo Lake.
Capitano Ozero, yeah.
And he had like the open top in the car. The piece. So I think most of the drive I was standing outside just taking in the fact that like there's a 360 just nature. Yeah. Everything, mountains, beautiful, like it was amazing. We spent a beautiful night there. The sunset was great. It was.
Which part of Montenegro do you like the most? Like, which one is your favorite?
I think Piva Lake area is quite beautiful. I enjoyed it a lot, but also like the Tar Canyon is just
it's something.
It's like really something. Right now I cannot tell you what would be my favorite because I'm still exploring, and what I've seen I will love. So
like I think you're gonna go crazy about Prokletije. It's just a place, like the environment is something else.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing that you've seen like before.
Yeah. I'll definitely make a
it's crazy. And the air is actually like way less dense. So it's like harder to breathe.
Okay.
Like, because you're way up. Like you're all the way to like, I think 2,500 meters. Damn. Yeah. Even more.
Okay, wow.
So it's, I don't know exactly, but it's like, I know it's the highest peak of Montenegro. So, yeah, you should definitely
Isn't that called like Sedlo Mountain or something?
I really forgot. Honestly, it's kind of embarrassing, but I really forgot.
I'm almost certain I saw like one of the highest peaks here. It looks like a saddle of sorts. And like I saw a sign saying we were like 1,900 meters up, and we were
Savin Cook. You mean that's dormitor?
No, it wasn't in dormitory.
Like a saddle?
Yeah.
Could it be Sinjaevina? No. It is Prokletije. Yeah, it looks like a saddle. Yeah,
it looks like a saddle.
Yeah, that's Prokletije.
Okay, yeah, we were there. You were there. So, because I remember seeing a sign saying like we were at like 19 or 2,000 meters. And like this mountain was
Yeah,
It
way
looked
up.
huge.
Way up.
I mean,
yeah.
and I was there going
You
like,
were there,
wow,
actually.
I haven't been like this. I don't think I've ever been on a mountain this high before. You know, like.
Was it highest peak in South Africa?
It's a good point. I'm not sure.
You're not
Actually,
sure?
I'm not sure.
We really suck at geography when it comes to our own country.
I mean, like we have a mountain there. It's called Table Mountain, but I don't really know what the height is, and it kind of looks like a small mountain in my opinion. If I compare it to what I see here all the time.
Small mountain?
Yeah, Table Mountain. You should check it out. It's I think one of the wonders of the world or something ridiculous like that, or just in South Africa.
It looks literally like a table?
Yeah, it's a table.
Really?
We have another mountain next to it called Lion's Head, and it's like that, like the main, and then it goes back to Signal Hill, which is the butt of the lion.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. You got some weird shape.
Yeah.
Mountains over there.
I mean, it's also pretty beautiful back home. We have this one area or section called the Garden Route. I think it's like 7 hours from Cape Town. Like a massive area. I'm not really sure what it would be called because it's not like a province. It's not a city. It's just this region of like
stretch of land, like
nature, like trees, untouched areas, like untouched land that's just been growing, mountainous areas. But I haven't been able to explore it enough, unfortunately. And if I go back to South Africa, I'm just gonna go there. After seeing this, I'm just gonna go there. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, so you're not going back to Cape Town?
No. The nature here was too good.
Garden routes?
Garden routes, yes, garden routes.
That even sounds like nature.
I got to spend like 3 nights there once.
Is there like wild animals there?
Yeah.
Is there, for example, like rhinos?
I mean, unfortunately, I don't think we have any rhinos just loose. They're in game reserves, like massive game reserves, because they are being poached and they are endangered because their horns are ivory.
Ivory?
Like, they cost a lot of money. You can do a lot with that. So we keep them safe. So not really like free roaming. You can't just like get into your car and see a rhino.
So is it like just, for example, like hundreds of them? Or is it like thousands?
I'm actually not sure the numbers anymore. It was more of a problem a couple years ago. There was a lot of news about it, but it's quietened down since then, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about the Big Five. Cause nobody here knows about the Big Five. So I didn't know. So
it's elephant, rhino, jaguar. Did I say a lion?
No.
Lion, and if I'm correct, cheetah.
Cheetah.
And actually cool enough in our passports, each page has a different one of the Big Five. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Cool. Having animals in a passport. That's cool,
and our notes also used to have them. I think they still do on the back, but we've recently made new notes. The coins have it as well. Yeah, it's really cool.
That's cool. So like are all of them endangered or
no? No, but we do have a lot of like safaris, like massive game reserves that you're able to go and spend a couple nights in a cabin or like safe camping areas, and you get to drive through in like Land Rovers, Range Rovers, not range, like the sporty ones, you know,
I like the
I don't know if you've seen them.
Are they open roof?
Yeah, those big open
like the
truck
SUVs,
truck-like SUV
truck-like
thing.
SUV,
I don't know. So you can go in those for like a couple of days and get to see everything. It's really, my friends do it quite a lot whenever they get the chance to.
Does anybody get eaten by a lion there? Does it happen?
I don't know. I'll have to check that for you.
Really?
I'll have to check that for you.
But is there like, let's say, wild animals like invading cities, like coming, I don't know, there's a lion that appears in Cape Town, for example.
I don't think that would happen.
Does that happen
anymore? No. I think they're most of them are kept in safe areas or just nature reserves.
Reserves,
yeah. Nature reserves, yeah.
Are those like huge strips of land?
Yeah.
So it's like basically a city of lions.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a city of lions, but it's a massive area with just animals roaming free. I mean, maybe, you know, giraffes and zebras are roaming.
So how do you control them? Like you build a fence around it, or?
I mean, the fence is huge, so
Yeah?
yeah.
Oh, so it's built like around. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's not really any ways for them out, and most of them will stay there because it's safer. Like, I'm pretty sure they feed them or they make a way for them to self-sustain. They're gonna stay there.
They probably work out in nature, like if it's a huge strip of land, like
Yeah, they can make it
I
work.
guess they just live their everyday life. Basically.
Yeah, they're just gonna carry on.
Yeah, just like we do in the city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how do you like Budva? What do you think about Budva?
I love Budva so far.
Really?
But it's a bit like busy. I mean, I knew it was a tourist city, but I don't know, I guess like I was expecting less people. And when I was here in March, it was dead. Like there were very few people out on the streets. I mean, I was only here for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. But I came back from Turkey and it was just packed. I didn't actually recognize the area. I didn't recognize the way home. Like it took me a moment, I think only after we got towards TQ Plaza, where I was like, oh, I live down this road, like definitely down this, because there was just so many people. I hadn't seen up this road. I was like, I hadn't seen that many people in Budva before, but I mean, it's nice. There's a lot of dog people here, which I've been.
There is actually.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the deal with it, but like people in Budva really like dogs.
Yeah.
And they walk them like all around. Like it's cool, man.
Yeah, I've made a lot of friends through my dog, so it's really like heartwarming to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you have friends to hang out with, like especially if you're like a foreigner here.
Yeah.
Like that's the easiest way to make friends.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how we met.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, it's kind of cool, but like there's not really many places to take your dog out here.
Yeah, and a lot
like
of the beaches aren't
areas,
like
but
dog
some
friendly.
of them are like kind of illegal. Because when you go to Slovenska plaža, like the park there, they like tie up your dog and shit like that. Like there's grass, they're destroying grass.
But they're not allowed to like run on the grass. So you have to like keep your dog on a lead or something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, that's kind of stupid because the guy that worked there in security, he told me like, oh, they run on the grass and
they're dogs. They're dogs. Like it's an animal at the end of the day.
Fuck, man.
I don't know if you probably have by Azura. There's like a little teardrop shaped cage.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's just got rocks in it. Like,
yeah, like I thought, like, oh, okay, that's nice. So I thought there's gonna be some stuff, some requisites for like puppies to like play and stuff. Like I don't know, some sort of entertainment for them. But nah, it's just plain sand.
No, it's not even sand. It's rocks. Like, I mean, I went there with my dog, and she looked at it. Like she had no idea it was a play park. She just looked at it and she looked at me like, what do you want from me right now? And I was like, okay, no, it's fine. We find somewhere else for you to run. Like, I don't want you to run on rocks.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. The municipality really don't care about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the people do, but also there's like a lot of irresponsible people. Like they just like throw like, I don't know, spoiled food on the street.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Like, I mean, I guess like maybe it wasn't spoiled when they threw it. Maybe they were feeding the cats or something, but
yeah,
I mean,
but like leaving shit on the street, like whatever it is, man, just leaving it on the street.
Yeah, there's a lot of rubbish on the streets around here. I realize that, and it's not the nicest thing to see. I mean, there's not really many bins here as well. Like, you have to walk quite far.
Actually, that's what I've been saying for years, man. Like, how the fuck do you expect the city to be clean if you have no trash bins, dude?
I mean, where I live, like, I've got those dumpsters. Like two of them really close by. But if I'm walking towards Old Town, I think I have to get towards your house to actually get to another dumpster. Yeah. And I just have to carry the rubbish.
Yeah, actually, that's the first one.
And that's what people get pretty annoyed about, probably, is they have to hold it. Like, if there was just a bin right, like, on the next corner, wouldn't be such a problem. But there's...
when we had bins, like, the people that work in the streets, like, how do you call them? Street... cleaners, I guess. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. They didn't do their job. So they didn't go around like pick up trash like regularly because nobody was supervising it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay.
And I would see a bunch of them just like laying under a tree and just like chilling, playing music, drinking beer, shit like that.
Okay.
I was like, dude, like no wonder this city looks
There's
like
just
shit,
so much
dude.
rubbish, yeah.
So much rubbish all over the place. And then like they were like, because people started throwing trash from their house, like the big ones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they started throwing them in bins. The municipality was like, yeah, you're not gonna do that, so we're just gonna remove the bins. Yeah.
Okay, but where else are they supposed to throw it?
I mean, they don't want to buy like big ones and place them like in certain areas, like areas where actual people live and need to.
I mean, I
throw
get
the
that, but at the
trash.
same time, like convenience is such a thing to as well get people to realize that throwing it on the street's not gonna help. I mean,
No, I mean it's not really a trash bin because it's like half of it is just concrete and there's a small one like a paper bin, you know what I mean?
okay.
And they just take that out and throw it away. So when you put one big like house baggage of
Yeah, rubbish.
rubbish,
Yeah.
when you put it there, it fills it up to the top.
But then just have more bins around. I mean,
Yeah, but it takes like a lot of space. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you saw them in front of Hotel Mogren. You know where the crossroads are? That goes down to Old Town. And
I mean,
then
I saw,
to
I
Mogren.
see those bins quite.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like 70% of them is just concrete, like full concrete.
But
So-
I mean, also just having more would. But also, it's also
It's
the person.
kinda
Like
stupid. Why would
people
you-
need to realize that like throwing it on the ground's not.
Why
gonna
don't you
help.
just put metal, like big ones, and just fix them to the floor?
I think it's a thing of smell.
Of smell.
Yeah.
But like they have
maybe.
disposable, like
I think they
parts,
should
right?
have.
Like redisposable. You just take the smaller bin out and just put it back.
Dump
Like,
it, yeah.
of course, trash is gonna smell horrible, man. But
Yeah.
you put lids on and that's it. Like fixed lids or whatever, man. It's
I guess, but I mean, it also starts with the people. Like, just walk to the bin. Just take it. Like, it's not that far. It doesn't. You know, I mean, I see
I mean,
people
it's
throw
true.
things randomly, and I think to myself, like, you could have just held on or like shoved it in your bag or, you know,
yeah,
just
people
kept
don't really
it.
do that.
It. I mean, it wouldn't have made such a big problem.
yeah, yeah, I know. But it's honestly like since I was a child, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Like it never really changed.
Oh yeah.
Like it's even better now comparing to before.
So it was worse than this.
Oh yeah, it was terrible, man. It was really terrible.
Okay.
Like you walk on a street and you just see like garbage all around. you,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
That really sucked, man.
Okay.
And like the canals and all of that, they were full of trash, right?
Yeah.
So whenever rain comes, it's
Oh,
already
no.
like
The water's just not
stuffed.
flowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's stuffed. So
That's
there's
just
like
bad.
floods all over. So yeah,
You know, I've realized Budva's not really set up for the rain.
it's not set up for anything.
Yeah.
You have parking lots. Like, what are you talking about? Like rain? That's fine, man. That's pretty fine. There's like certain areas that flood, but like
I mean-
our biggest concern is probably like
The roads?
dude,
Sorry.
the roads, the garage places, parking
Sorry.
lots. Like we don't have those, man.
Yeah.
We just build buildings, but we don't have garages and nothing, man.
Yeah.
We just go around, search for places on a side road, maybe, in front of some store that doesn't work.
No, I've actually seen that. Like, I've seen some very interesting parking from people, but also, like,
Man, but
sometimes when people stop here and they go into a shop, like, they just leave their door open, the car is still running,
Yeah.
and they just, like, run into the bakery or, like, quickly run
Yeah.
to the supermarket. And I've never seen that before.
I do
like,
that. I do that quite a lot. Honestly, I stop by the let's say bakery. I just stop on the street, turn on all fours, just go out, buy, and come back. Like that takes like 20
Okay,
seconds.
so
That's kind of convenient.
I mean, okay, in Cape Town, if you like leave your car unlocked, it's probably going to be stolen or broken
Yeah,
into. Whatever was in there was going to be taken out.
That's
so,
like.
I mean, it's just a culture shock for me when I come here and people just leave. Or I mean, there's a car parked up from my road and the windows are always open all the time. Like that would never happen.
I mean that's like I don't know, that really doesn't happen here, man. It's like so rare. It's usually in summer when there's a lot of people here, because Budva usually has during the summer around, let's say, 150,000 people. Like it's massive.
Okay.
It's a massive difference. It doubles in size.
Wow.
Right? Because when I was a kid, Budva had like 20, not even 20,000 people. So as I grew up, I saw Budva like growing up with me, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
more and more people coming in.
yeah, it's like up to 80,000 now.
Okay.
So there's quite of a difference right now when it comes to like social structures and like where you go and what you do and with who you do it. So,
but it's also like a lot safer here. Even though there's more people, it feels a lot safer.
I mean, it's not a million-plus town.
Yeah.
I mean, city.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't really expect that here. Because it's like, if anything happens, the police is there in like 10 minutes. So.
Oh, yeah?
At the most.
Okay.
The most. So.
Okay.
And they really like it, like when there's conflicts and stuff.
It gives them something to do.
Yeah, they got something to do. No, for real, because nothing happens. Our biggest problem here, I think, is drug smuggling. Like other than that, there is violence, but like whenever there is violence, it's always in the news. Everybody's talking about it. Like it's not a everyday thing here.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Here, it's pretty much like just everyday stuff happens like quite often, right?
Yeah. I mean, in Cape Town, like you could call the police and they might come in like 30 minutes. They might. Man. I mean, if you're like, maybe if you pester them enough or you tell them it's that big of an emergency. But I mean, I heard of like some domestic violence happening in a residential area and like the police isn't that far. It's like, I don't know, I think it's maybe 1 kilometer away, if not less. Yeah. And it took them, I think they said to me 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes to get to their house. And it's a residential area. There's no traffic. So I don't know. I think our police are just lazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, like if there was so much violence here, I don't think they would be that keen of going like.
Oh, like always being busy with something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's dangerous, man. I mean, they did quite a good job. Like there was a shooting in Cetinje.
Okay.
Like it was, I think, last year or the year before. But a guy basically came out of his house, took a shotgun, not a shotgun, like a gun.
Okay.
And killed like 7 people, including some children. He just lost his mind. He was in a like argument with his family, I think. And then he just decided to take a gun, go out, just a weapon, just shoot all out. Yeah, so it was, it happened, but that was like the biggest news like ever.
So I have a question. Is it easy to get a hold of a gun here? Like, obviously you might have to get it legally or illegally, but is it easy in general?
Is it easy to get to one?
To get one, to have one in your possession as
probably the easiest thing ever.
Okay.
Like it's really not that complicated, and you don't really have to know that many people to do it. So yeah.
Legally or illegally?
Well, I think you can get it either way, but if you want to get it legally, you got to be a part of like a shooting center or like I don't know how you call that, like streličarski klub, like the place where
like a shooting range.
Shooting range, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how that's called.
Okay, and what, you'd need a license here for it?
Yeah, you kind of need a license as the member of the club, or you need a license as a hunter.
As a hunter?
Yeah. Okay. You need like hunting. If you need hunting weapons, you need a license for it. And there's like hunter communities and like, I
Okay.
don't know, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of really easy, to be quite honest. And I think like 80% of Montenegrins have guns in their houses, but it's like
Okay.
for God forbid situations, you know.
Okay.
Not many of them, not many.
Okay.
The majority doesn't use it at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's just like for safety reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like if somebody gets a hold of it and starts like going around and doing shit like, you know, stuff like that, it's either going crazy because he knows somebody in the police and they're protecting him,
So it's some organized.
or they take him down in like 10 minutes, basically.
Okay.
I mean, I've known, it's actually a funny story, man, because it's like, how do you call it? Like when you go to somebody and just tell him to give you money so that you don't make him problems, like in his disco or bar or whatever.
What, like almost? Wait. Just say that again. Sorry.
So like somebody owns a club, right?
Yeah.
Or a, let's say, cafe or a restaurant. So you come to their place.
Protection.
Yeah, like paid protection.
Paid protection,
like,
but it's from them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know we have that in South
Yeah,
Africa.
I don't know
Yeah.
how you call that. Like, there's probably a term for it, but I forgot.
I don't.
But we call it raketiranje. So
Okay.
it's like, you know, just taking money to make sure you don't make any problems there, basically.
I think a lot of our city centers have that in
Yeah.
Cape Town. I
Yeah,
mean,
but it's forced. You know?
yeah, it's no,
Yeah.
of course it's
Yeah,
forced,
yeah.
but
Yeah. So what happened? Yeah, I want to tell you a story. So what happened? Like, few guys came there. I'm not gonna name them, and they basically tried to do that to the guy,
okay.
and he was like, "Yeah, guys, like, can you wait for me like till tomorrow, please?" Like, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, we'll come back tomorrow."
Okay.
Well, they left. And he called the police, and the police caught him in like 10 minutes. Yeah, that was an attempt.
So I have a funny story for you.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how funny it is, but like,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of amusing. So we also have that. We have like a mafia and a gang.
Hmm.
And I was working at a very big nightclub in Cape Town called, maybe I shouldn't name it actually.
Okay.
And the owners of the club had like 5. So there were 2 bosses of my club, and one of the bosses had like 4 other restaurants and clubs that were like 2 of them were co-owned with the other one, and that other guy had like a couple other places, and they were really well known in our area, like in the city center. And I used to see a lot of the time, like one of the mafia would, or I think he was a gangster actually, I think definitely a gangster. He would come in and he would, you know, fetch some money. He wouldn't say anything. He would walk in the door for free and walk out with like a wad of cash or like a big pocket of, you know, something. And
Okay, shady business going on.
after a while, I caught on, and I, you know, started talking to the guy because I was curious as well. And I think maybe a couple months in, maybe 7 months into me working there, their second club caught fire. And they said, oh no, like someone left something lit in the club. But this wasn't one of their nightclubs. This was more of like a restaurant in the day. And like vibey music in the night. So kind of a club, but it's not a club.
So it's a lounge, basically.
Yeah. And caught fire. And they said to us, they were like, no, nothing. Someone left something on. And all of us knew. We were like, you didn't pay them for that club. Like, we knew something was going on. We knew they were struggling somehow. But all of a sudden, the club just burned down. And we all knew. We knew it was the gangs, like, getting them back for not paying them.
Shit. I mean, that happens here. Like, sometimes they blew up people's cars. Like, that was before. Actually, there was up there on this parking lot.
Yeah.
There was a car. There was a guy that got his car blown up there for like 3 times, 3 different cars. Like, yeah, they were like, they weren't trying to kill him. They were warning him. Because they destroyed it in the evening, like they just lit it, like
damn. Okay.
Yeah. And it was crazy, man. Like it was just up the street right there.
And when was the last time that happened?
It happened like quite a while ago, like maybe 10, 15 years ago, something.
Okay.
Maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not a thing really anymore.
It's not often.
But like in a mafia, like there's a lot of shit going on. It's just behind the curtains.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah. But there's like crazy shit going on. Like they're opening some conversations from like the Sky application.
From the what application?
That's Sky. It's called Sky application. So that's basically an application where you can search encrypted phones, right? Because mafia uses like encrypted phones.
Okay.
Damn, dude, like that shit that they wrote there and they talked about it. That's dark shit.
What kind of stuff?
If you can mention. It's like basically, can you imagine somebody not treating people like human beings?
What, like torturing them?
It's not really torturing. It's like humiliating, torturing, like destroying lives type of stuff. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy, like psychological. It's fucking disgusting, dude. When I saw those, I was like, damn, there's people like these, like among us. That's fucking crazy. There's a guy from Serbia actually that made cevapi from his victims and ate them. I don't know if that's a myth or something, but I know that guy is like fucking crazy.
And he's still
a serial
around?
killer. Nah, he's in jail, but like it's fucking crazy.
And he's in there for life, or he's coming out soon or something? Like, what's happening with this guy?
He's not coming out. I don't think so. Like, he's probably 30, 40 years. Like, he's 30 now, maybe 40, something like that. So he's gonna basically
he's gonna be in there for the rest of it. Okay.
I guess. So
all right.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. That's like it's crazy shit going on. I know also like that was before, like that was like maybe 30 years ago, like raging war here in Yugoslavia and shit.
Yeah.
And after the war, like the mafia life started here because we didn't really have it before.
Okay.
It was communism. The state controlled everything. So after the fall of communism and the war, the mafia started forming, right? So there was like those people in Vojvodina. They got in kind of a fight with a guy from Montenegro, actually.
Okay.
It's like mafia, arguments and shit like that. So they basically took him, put him on a metal stick, like when you put a pig, and they like turn him on a barbecue.
So this guy was wrapped to. How did they attach him to the pole? Sorry, I just need to
Well, I mean, you can imagine
was
how. Yeah, it was like a kebab basically. Yeah, and they turn him on a. Yeah, we went to some dark shit right now. I don't want to change the topic. But yeah, like when people do shit here, they do crazy shit, man. They really do crazy shit.
I'm like partially disturbed right now.
I mean, it's
okay.
crazy.
Okay.
But like, yeah, at the same time, it's safe because if you don't engage with that kind of people, you don't really have any problems with it.
Nothing happens to you then.
Yeah, like you're not a victim. They're not looking for you. They have nothing to do with you.
Okay.
They're doing shady business, but they're doing it with people that are just like them.
Yeah.
Right?
What, that are like opposing them, or that are just kind of
in a war? Let's say somebody tries to fuck somebody up and they catch him and they like fuck him up. Yeah.
So what if they did something to the daughter of someone high up in the mafia, or the kid or the wife or something? Would it be a big problem with
they don't usually in Montenegro, they usually don't go that far.
Okay.
It's mostly the victim based crime. Like they don't go around the victim. Like they don't disturb families and shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah, usually not. But it happens sometimes, I think. Yeah, I didn't really hear about it like from anywhere that somebody, killed somebody's wife or hold for a hostage or something.
Okay.
That's really, really rare. Yeah,
what if you were
we look at those things like differently.
So what if you were to hurt one of the mafia's daughters, or like, I don't know,
Oh man.
That's what I was trying to ask.
Oh,
like,
man.
what would happen? Would it be
But
an
it's
outrage,
not-
or would it
it's
just
not
again
really-
be
but
to
again-
that person
But again, it's not really possible because I think
protected?
they're not protected. They're like in a circle of people that you don't hang around
Okay.
with. So
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of like they're pretty much segregated from us.
Okay.
And I kind of like it. Like, do your thing, man. I don't want to have anything with that
just
shit.
leave us out of
Like,
it.
I don't have anything with
Okay.
it. I'm not the police. I don't
Yeah.
care. Just like do your thing.
Yeah.
Just I'm not gonna be there. That's it. I think that's the
Okay.
best way to cope with it.
Yeah.
I never had problems with it, so yeah.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
you really want to be part of it if you have problems. So you kind of deserve it, honestly.
Okay.
Like you know what you're getting yourself into, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the mafia doesn't spare, you know? They're not known as graceful people. like-
Yeah. No, that's definitely,
Yeah.
it's a fair point.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah.
Well, we actually have a lot of gang wars in South Africa, so I'm sure there's some mafia things going on deep down, but I think
you said actually one time that mafia in South Africa is actually Russian.
Yeah, they're Russian.
How
yeah.
the fuck did that
I'm sure
happen?
we have a South African, some form of mafia too, but we have gangs. So I don't know if our gangs are maybe
That
called-
organized?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think so, but we do have a Russian mafia, and probably one of the biggest gangs
Mhm.
in maybe the continent or something. The numbers gang.
Yeah.
28s or 26s or 27s. I don't know if they're all different. I don't know if they're the same, but
Yeah.
they're huge, and we have a lot of documentaries now with some of the people in it. And I mean, they start getting you in from when you're young, like
Mhm.
young boys on the street, and they start desensitizing them.
Oh,
And-
man. That's fucking evil, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it. They don't do that here.
we have kids like with guns. Kids
Man.
like 10 years old, they have
Can
guns.
you get
and
stabbed from like a
you
kid
could
that's
probably
12?
yeah, you could get stabbed at any time, honestly. Yeah, it actually brings me back to a story about my university.
Uh-huh.
Remember the diversity training?
Yeah.
And one night there was some Afrikaans kids, like in the rec room. We had a barbecue, we call it a braai,
Mhm.
downstairs, and like TVs, you could watch the game, and there was like a sports center.
Mhm.
And one night the Afrikaans kids were playing their music, dancing, sokkieing, it's a type of dance. And then someone else came in and they were like, "Nah, we want to listen to our music." And somehow a fight broke out. I'm not sure, I wasn't there. But they were throwing rocks and bricks at each other because they had a problem with the different music tastes being played, because one was maybe African and one was Afrikaans. And someone got stabbed on our campus like 7 times with a screwdriver as well. Yeah, it was, I'm sorry for laughing, it's just how I cope with it, but
Yeah.
it was, yeah, so kids start from young to get desensitized in South Africa, and for some people it's not a problem to hurt someone else.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
So they're like as violent as adults, right?
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, there is some kids I see in the streets, like they're like 15, 16, 17, but they're not like doing like any harm to anybody. They're just being like, you know, how do you call it? Like not hobos, but like we call it kloshar. So basically you're just spending your time in the streets, like
not
just to
doing anything.
just trash. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Just trash.
Okay.
Just fucking your life up every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, they definitely start from young, and by I think the time that they're like 12, they've probably killed a few people, and they kind of learn eventually that if they don't kill this person, they will lose their own life. And yeah, it's pretty intense. We have a lot of gang wars in a few areas. Like kids know in some areas that if they hear a gunshot, to just run to the closest house, just find cover.
oh, by the way, what I wanted to ask you, like, how do you feel about the people being so tall here?
I actually saw a really tall guy today, and I really wanted to ask him, like, how's it looking up there? Like, I mean, I wasn't gonna do it, but it was on my mind. I really wanted to. I mean, you guys are really tall. I know I'm
Yeah.
also just short, but Like the people are tall here. I mean, I can't reach most things.
I mean, I'm average. It's 183. That's the average height
You
for
guys are
men.
tall.
For men,
You guys are very tall.
I think we surpassed Netherlands now. I think we're the tallest nation in the world. I'm
not really sure on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Serbia is, for example, 56th. Croatia is like maybe 54th or something. Yeah, they're like 50 places behind.
I don't think I've ever searched that about South Africa. Like, I don't know what.
I guess they're not
what
that
scale
tall.
we would be on.
I guess they're not that tall. You don't really.
I'm not really a South African, so you can't look at me and think about like, the country's short.
When I look at you, like, I would think maybe Brazilian or yeah, some Middle Eastern probably. Yeah. It's kind of, Yeah,
I get asked a lot of the time, like where I'm from. It's kind of annoying, to be honest. But
they think you're Latina or.
No. So this country was the first place that thought I was Latina and Brazilian.
I mean, you kind of do look Latina more so than.
But I mean, and most people in South Africa, like they think I'm colored. Or they're like, "Are you from New Zealand?" Or you like, where did you come
Maori?
from? Like, and then maybe I'll speak because sometimes my accent changes to a bit of British or a bit of accent like American. I don't know where it changes. Accent. I don't know where it changes. Like, I don't hear it myself, but other people are like, "Oh, are you from Britain?" And I'm like, "No, I mean."
Did you go to a British school or?
We have British English that we get taught, but not a British school. No.
Yeah, but you don't sound like. I mean, you kind of sound British, but not really. Like you can hear that it's.
I at least don't sound. Sorry for saying it, but I don't sound like a South African. At least.
Oh wow!
A South African accent. I love it. Like it brings me back home, but it's a really funny accent.
Can you say it's a really funny accent in like the South African accent?
I think you should just play a voiceover of a South African guy speaking.
Voiceover.
Yeah, have some South African speaking, like in the video.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
They can hear.
But it's like, I don't know. Australians have like the most wicked English.
Yeah.
Man. It's so wicked, dude.
But also some parts of America.
Like it's not Sprite, but Sprite. It's not a babysitter, but a babysitter.
I actually recently watched a video of like an American speaking. I don't know where he was from, the South Side somewhere.
Oh man!
I could not, for the life of me, tell what this guy was saying.
Yeah.
I had to watch it a few times, and eventually I read the comments, and I was just like, that doesn't sound like it. That doesn't even I was watching it and reading the comments at the same time to like catch the words, and I was like, I can't. I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, but they have the craziest accent, man. I remember when I was on a cruise ship, like the people are that when I first like live, the first time in my life I was listening to a Southern accent live.
Yeah.
I didn't have a fucking clue what those people are saying. They're ordering something and I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah.
I'd say my English is pretty advanced. So it's kind of, and I go there and I'm like, damn, this is not English. Man.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck this is, but this is not English for sure. And like black people as well, when they have an accent, dude, I don't know shit what they're saying. Really. Like they have like, yeah, man, like, fuck, dude. Like, can you speak, please? Like, don't moan to me.
Funny enough, I was recently told that my English from South Africa doesn't count as English.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count as English. So
what do you mean by that?
Someone wanted to do a language exchange, right?
Yeah.
So they know German and Serbian, and they want to learn English. And I was like, cool, we could do this, and I could learn some Serbian because I'm living here now. It would be nice to know some more of the language. And so he asks me a few questions, and he's like, "Are you native?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's my home language. We get taught it at school." And he's like, "So where are you from, and what job do you do?" And I'm like, "I don't think my job like matters in this, but I'm from South Africa." And he's like, "No, that's not English." And I'm like, "We were colonized by the British. Like, we do British English in school. That's what we learn." And he's like, "No, it doesn't count." I was like, how can you tell
Just
me?
like, nah.
Yeah, like how
Nah.
how can you tell me?
Bullshitting. Like you speak some tuka language. You're lying to me.
And I get told by like so many, especially like foreigners, then I speak to them, they're like, wow, your English is really good. And I'm like, yeah, because we do British English in South Africa.
I knew that English is like official in South Africa, but I as well know that there's like 11 official languages?
11
right?
official languages. So
So which languages are those?
I can't name all of them for you because I
Okay.
never really paid
But
that much
like-
attention. But
Mention a few of them.
obviously it's English.
Yeah.
We have Afrikaans, which is similar to Dutch.
Mhm.
But I'd say it's our take on the language.
Okay. So broken Dutch.
No, just our take.
Okay.
And we have like 9 other languages which are not as widely spoken.
Mhm.
Like Xhosa, Tswana, Tswana,
It's like
Zulu.
Xhosa, right?
Yeah.
It's with a click.
Yeah, they tried to
Xhosa.
teach it to us in primary school, and I mean, it didn't really catch on with
Do
us. Like,
How many of them do you learn there?
actually, in school we learn a lot of languages, so
Really?
it also depends on the school you go to.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a really nice school. We learned English, Xhosa from year 1 to year 4.
Mm-hmm.
Afrikaans from year, I think, 2 or 1 to the end of high school.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to teach us Germany. It was an extracurricular. We did French as well
Oh, wow,
up
okay.
until grade year 9. So it was a choice after that if you wanted to continue or not.
Mhm.
They were like we learned lots of languages. I think when my one school did Mandarin.
Mhm.
I mean, it
Mandarin.
was an extracurricular, of course, but it was taught
But
and you could do it.
It was available there?
Yeah, it was available.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They don't offer that here.
I mean, it's not in every school. Some
Mhm.
schools would just have Afrikaans, English, and Xhosa, or just 2 languages. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Xhosa. Yeah. Sounds strange. Like I would like to hear how it sounds. I'm probably gonna watch it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You should. I wouldn't be
I'll
able to
check-
say anything to you.
I'll check that out for sure. I mean, we're pretty much done for tonight. Like, thank you for coming and
Thanks.
like, yeah,
Thanks for
it's-
having me.
yeah, it was a pleasure. Honestly, like
Yeah.
it was a good talk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Eto, to bi bilo to za noćas. Evo, završili smo i ovaj razgovor. Bilo je zanimljivo, svašta sam nešto i čuo i naučio i tako. Vama hvala što ste gledali. Ako već niste, lajkujte, šerujte i subscribeujte. I vidimo se iduće subote sa nekom novom realnom pričom. Do tada, laka noć.